and welcome back to Nightly Nerds. I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
And we're playing
Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice. Alright. So what is it? I actually originally bought this game when we started the channel. And it was an amazing game. It was only on PC and PS4. $30. It's great. It's now only $20 on all platforms.
I see.
It got popular enough that they're like, okay, we really want this on Xbox too. And then they're like, okay, now the Switch is out, so here's the Switch as well. But it's a spooky game in the way that like you're seeing things in game that weren't actually there a second ago. It's very psychological.
You know, we've been talking about like we're filling up our month of October right now. I think I have Eternal Darkness.
I think I do too.
We should totally play that too.
Okay, so we can end up talking through this. We could be quiet. Hold on. This game gets so much better when there's subtitles on.
Yeah.
Because you're playing a character that hears voices. You as the player character are a voice on her journey.
Welcome.
And you can help distinct the different voices, which might be helpful for people watching.
I'll be right here.
Who might not be able to hear it.
Listen close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
Huh. So speaking of like schizophrenia and stuff.
See how that little head was pulsing on her back?
He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness. There will be no more stories after this one.
Anyways.
Yeah, you had a thought and you're just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But they were talking about how schizophrenia is different for different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you react to it. And like outside of the US, a lot of the voices are like playful
I never
and
told you of the others.
Yeah.
and like in the US they're angry and violent. And like I don't know, I think when I heard that I thought about the people who go on like rampages and shootings, like mass shootings and stuff.
That's not quite
Because those people tend to have some kind of psychological problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I've wondered if it's like there's a cultural thing where people think violence first, and so that's what they want to do.
changed.
And say if we were in India or something, and the same person, he would never ever pull a gun out and shoot people or blow a bomb up or whatever. I don't know.
Can you see?
Mental health is a big deal.
It is. Mental health has also gotten a lot better in the past 20 years.
Well, the stigma on it's gotten less, but I think in the U.S., because the way our healthcare
US
system
still
works,
sucks.
It sucks. They need to fix it.
Like, if you have mental health problems, from what I've seen and heard and talked with people online, Europe, especially like Scandinavia,
Land of mist and fog.
is like one of the best places for it.
The place the Northmen call Hell.
Turn back. Go back.
Yeah, because important voices that we hear
Give the
will get the subtitles.
It's not safe.
And for those that will end up, watching this whole thing out, this also is one of the games that is very true to Norse mythology. Like, we'll find a bunch of stuff that'll like tell us the legend of this and that,
Oh, that's cool.
versus the way that movies and TV shows glorify it. Like, because especially like, I love what Marvel did with all their movies, but they made Thor glorified and awesome and cool looking, but Thor was an asshole.
Well, he's a superhero, so it's based on Thor, but it's not the same.
And everyone considers it to be legend. Like Mjolnir, it has to be tiny, but it's like Mjolnir was actually a two-handed hammer, and all this different stuff. It's like, I appreciate it, but it's like, guys, get your lore correct. Marvel's Thor is that way, not Thor.
Yeah.
Because Thor was actually kind of like Odin's executioner. If Odin wanted something dead, Thor killed them. Baldur was loved by everyone, but he was also an asshole prior to like everything in his early life. Freya, Baldur's mother, was actually like rejected by it's like she was a marriage. She was a marriage between Thor, or sorry, between Odin and her, but it was like the Vanir and the Aesir. Because Odin wanted power that the Vanir had.
Yeah.
Odin wasn't a kind person either. He
Well,
tortured.
it's like Zeus.
Yeah, he's just like Zeus.
Yeah, you got your Disney Zeus, and you got the real Zeus who was out raping everything
Turn away.
and killing everything.
Yeah.
It's always there, just out
And
doing what he wanted.
where you're most
And so if you want to like, without diving into like
like
Wikipedia
nose
page
that
after
just
Wikipedia page of
enough
different
light.
things, like this game is a good way to
all you
get
need to see
a
its
chunk
suffocating power.
of like the poems and stories.
A lot of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that water's diseased.
Oh yeah.
They know you're here.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death.
I love and hate this game at the same time
Senua's fear
because it's meant to be played with headphones. When you have it on, it's like you hear this whispering in your left ear.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, we recommend everybody is going to watch this playthrough. I'm going to leave the sound up, I guess, in this one.
there's no music, so it shouldn't get copyrighted.
Yeah, so we'll, I'll try to balance it so you can hear too. And you'll hear us also talking to you.
All right, so now we're actually gonna get control of Senua.
About 6.5 minutes.
Okay. I say we go a little longer on this one. Just
Well, we'll go. If I think it's a good spot to pick, I'll stop you.
yeah. It's a game that has combat, but you don't
Is she leaving behind?
always have combat.
I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to.
So like,
Why don't you join us?
I was kind of loud coming in there, but
Maybe
there's
you
a
two
lot
have
of,
a part to play in this story.
different theories on schizophrenia and other things where people hear voices. I mean, sometimes people who are just bipolar will hear voices.
Oh yeah.
Like what causes it? Sometimes it really is just your inner monologue gets a voice.
Yeah.
Do not forget my stories, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate. But God's this
I want to make sure we hear all of that.
you must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Helheim goes from there, across the river of knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
Okay.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like all the voices that like are warning her things, you know.
Yeah.
But that would actually be your own like feeling warning you.
Your
And the ones calling you
instincts.
stupid be like, oh, we gotta be careful, and all kinds of different things like that.
Darkness is coming.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yearn for life.
I'm far from an expert on anything, so
Well,
I
because
don't really know. But
everyone
conjecture.
has 3 voices everyone has 3 voices: the voice they speak, the voice they hear, and the voice in their head.
Yeah,
Everyone and they're all different. People like us who like can hear ourselves in our headsets, we get used to the voice that we hear because we're now actually hearing it.
yeah.
The old fool was right. What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
Whose head is that?
You'll find out in a bit.
It's a pretty cinematic game so far.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be very cinematic for the first few episodes. Just because they're trying to get the setting all painted out for you.
No doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim. And the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
So her lover is dead and in hell.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a Dante's Inferno kind of thing going on here.
Kind of, yeah, but in Norse mythology. And I believe if we look around, I love it. That's my favorite part about this. So if you turn the camera far enough, she sidesteps.
Oh, that's cool.
And we're just like, not many games do that.
So,
I forget its name.
there's a guy whose videos I watch,
True.
and he does called more not what is it called? Know Better.
Yeah.
And he'll find the subject, kind of break it down, and get deep into it, trying to keep an unbiased point of view and give all the sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he did was Dante's Inferno, the book,
Yeah.
and how almost all modern Christian religions, their hell and everything is based on it, and it wasn't canon.
No.
Like wasn't part of the church until after it came out, only because it got so popular.
Yeah.
When it came out, it was actually a protest against the church.
Oh yeah.
Dwell in Alfheim.
And I find it so I find this funny every now and then when I talk to someone about Dante's Inferno because I've read it. I love it. It's very interesting in its writing.
Yeah.
And when like you talk to someone about like
Darkness.
hell and whatnot, and like the seventh circle of hell in Dante's Inferno is described as a frozen lake, and they're like, it's not ice. It's not cold. I'm like, it's a frozen lake because in the seventh circle of hell, the deeper your sins were, the deeper you were frozen under the lake.
Under the lake, yeah.
And they're just like arguing with me. I'm just like, there's so many times where people like because of the game Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, yeah.
The hidden path.
It's a close interpretation of it, but it's not.
It's an adventure game, though.
Yeah, so like they had to make it interesting. So they added like fire and differences and stuff like that. Now we get our first puzzle.
Okay.
Oh, we get to meet one of my favorite characters.
I was just hiding. Find I live longer. Bastards catch me again. Never! Who are you? My tales against them. They call me Bruce. Liar. An old fool. True is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell.
This.
If
We're both getting like so into it.
Yeah,
too.
we are. We're getting so quiet.
Tell me your stories again.
What's like, it's another thing that's interesting about like schizophrenia and other mental diseases. In certain cultures, those were your shamans and
Yeah.
your seers and your medicine men. They were just people who looked at the world differently.
Yeah, when we're
And
able to
because-
see things that you weren't.
And because they looked at the world in a different way, they could, see things you couldn't see and unlock it. Let's do this puzzle, and I think we'll call this episode.
So what we got to do is we got to find something that has the same shape as that rune. I already know the answer, but I want to see if you can find it.
An M
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like,
looking thing.
it's a crossed M.
Is it up there? The shadow.
Yep.
It's near. Look
And that's going to be one of our
toward
puzzle things as we go on.
the gate.
We'll have to find more than one rune to.
I got it.
And I'm like, that's a cool representation of like rune magic and whatnot. Like,
Go through it. It's dangerous.
there's something out where this rune that's locking the gate is, and you have to spot where it's at, and you have to be like, oh, I will use that rune's power to open this rune. I'm like, it's a good interpretation of it.
The Northmen learned their ways.
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen
hold here?
feel our fury.
All right. That's going to end this episode of Nightly Neds. As always, I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Hey, did you like that video?
Well, if you did, click the box on the right for another.
Click the box on the left for a playlist.
Of course, you could always just subscribe by clicking the link in the middle.
Come find us on social media.
There are links in the description below.
Don't be afraid to leave us a comment.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tote.
I'm Ginger. See you then.
Bye.